Well, tonight in the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is, definitely revved up his mass deportations. And of course, one of the countries that people are being deported to is Mexico. And he had this journalist with Al-Jazeera is saying something I think that's quite interesting. I would say at the least. She's going to say something that just for Americans is going to be so ridiculous for you to hear. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Mexico cannot cope. Not sure any country can, but Mexico can't cope with like a sudden influx of millions of people. I mean, as much as she wants to embrace them, to use her word, when they come back and make them feel welcome, it all sounds very nice when you're listening to it, but the reality of that is just completely unsustainable. A lot of these people have lived in the U.S. for decades. They have lives there. They have families. They're good standing citizens. So they're not in a position to just be deported and say like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to come back here and take a job making a fraction of what I used to make and go to my town where I don't have anything left, which is maybe it's been overrun by violence. I mean, it's unrealistic to think that wouldn't lead to a crisis.
So let's get this straight. So Mexico, what you're saying, ma'am, Mexico cannot take back, in your words, millions of their own citizens. These are their citizens. They're not deporting Guatemalans, Hondurans, or all other people, from different Latin American countries. No, just people from their country. And you're saying that they can't take it because it's going to cause basically a bunch of problems. They're making a fraction of the cost. But we have to take on millions upon millions of people from all over the world. We have to take them. So just as much as you say Mexico is going to cause a problem over there, that's why people are talking about mass deportations here. Do you think people just woke up one day and said, oh, yeah, I want to see all people that's illegal here mass deported? That just didn't happen overnight. It became after millions and millions of people came here. The Biden administration was sitting up here allowing the people to live in hotels for free while Americans are struggling. Eating for free while Americans are having to put their money together just to buy groceries. You understand? Seeing them having cars and everything, like, where are they getting cars from? Like the one sister said that she couldn't even get a food truck. Had a hard time, but the government was going to give an immigrant $25,000 to buy her food truck. But she said she struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled everything she had to get that food truck herself. So we seen that the Biden administration was really giving all the money that's supposed to be coming to American citizens and definitely coming toward us as FBAs. When we seen all that, we was like, a lot of Americans would say, oh, hell no. No. Where Trump at? Because Kamala was going to keep bringing them in the millions. And people heard Trump say mass deportation. Say, yeah, man, I'm down on that. Because why? Because the resources that's supposed to go to American citizens are going to the immigrants. So if American people saw all that happen to them with this big, massive influx of millions of people from all over the world, but yeah, you talking about Mexico can't handle it? Well, you know what? They're going to have to. That's their citizens. Mexico is a big country. It is. They can handle it. Trust me, they can. You know how that one dude that we did a stream on earlier tonight, when he said that they're hardworking? Okay, they're hardworking. They will make it. They'll make it. They'll be okay. How what I look like as a leader of a country not wanting the citizens of my country back? I want my citizens to stay in a foreign country. No, she's supposed to welcome them back and help them out much as possible. I don't want to hear that when we taking on millions of people for decades, millions of people over here. But they can't go home. It's going to cause a problem. Man, I want y'all to listen to that craziness. No, like Trump said, and I agree, we being ripped off. We being ripped off, used and abused from people all over the world, and it needs to stop. And that's in this illegal immigration situation is part of it. The American people are being ripped off. We can't even We can't even get, the reason why you have so much inflation is because so many people's here. We seeing videos all over the place of stores where hardly no people in them. Guess what happens in those stores and hardly no people in them? Those prices start dropping. All those towns, while them people are gone now, watch the food prices in those towns. If you live there, those food prices going to start dropping. It's going to start dropping because it's not a demand like that. All them people being in here, that brings the demand up, ladies and gentlemen. It brings the demand up. Get them people out, it brings the demand down. The food prices come down. The gas prices can come down because you got the demand is so doggone high. Immigration has a definite effect. It has a big effect on the consumer. Oh, yes, it does. So, no, just as much as we had to take on millions, Mexico had to take on their citizens. It's just that simple. American people shouldn't have to, sit up here and take care of the world.